Everyone is talking about Macrohard. It's all over the news. But nobody seems to be asking the most important questions, like when did this all really start? What have they actually built? And maybe the biggest one, can AI even do what's being claimed here? So I went through everything. Every single USPTO filing, every internal reorganization document, and all the latest AI benchmarks to figure out what's real and what's just hype. And believe me, the timeline tells a completely different story than the one you've probably heard.
Welcome back to AI Verdict, where we do the research so you don't have to. Real quick, if you want to get the key AI news, tools, and learning resources to stay ahead of the curve, join our community of AI enthusiasts with our free weekly newsletter. The link is right there in the description. Okay, so today, I'm going to walk you through the verified timeline of what's actually happened with Macrohard. And then, we're going to look at what AI can realistically do today based on actual hard benchmarks. All right, first up, what exactly is Macrohard? You got to forget the typical startup story. The ambition here is on a completely different level.
Okay, this is the core idea right here, an AI-run software production company. Just let that sink in for a second. The goal isn't a company that just uses AI tools. Nope. The goal is a company that is the AI. And they're not being subtle about who they're targeting. They are explicitly trying to simulate Microsoft itself. The whole idea is that since software isn't a physical thing, a super advanced AI could, in theory, run the entire operation from top to bottom.
And look, this isn't just some marketing slogan or wild tweet. This quote comes directly from the official US trademark filing. They're legally declaring that their intention is the simulation and modeling of entire corporations. That's a legal statement of intent. It really doesn't get more real than that.
But let's bring ourselves back down to earth for a minute. Despite this massive vision, there is no product you can download. There's no service you can sign up for. Right now, Macrohard is a very well-documented ambition happening inside xAI. The paper trail is totally solid, but the product itself, it's still just a promise.
Okay, so let's dig into the hard evidence and see exactly how this whole thing has been building. This is where we trace the project's momentum, step by step.
This timeline, it shows a really clear pattern of escalation. It all starts with the legal groundwork back in August. By December, we start to get a little peek under the hood at the actual tech they're trying to build. Then, we see signs of the infrastructure being built out. But February? February is the real game changer. The SpaceX acquisition means a massive injection of resources. And right after that, boom, a dedicated Macrohard team is officially formed with its own leader. This is not a side project. This is a full-blown, incredibly well-funded initiative.
Now, to really understand just how unbelievably audacious this whole plan is, we have to talk about the giant they're trying to simulate. Let's take a look at the 50-year empire that is Microsoft. Just think about this for a second. Windows runs on nearly 3/4 of all desktop computers on the entire planet. That's not just, a market lead. That is a decades-long stranglehold on the whole industry. And it absolutely doesn't stop there. Over 400 million people are paying to use Microsoft 365. That shows you just how deeply woven they are into the daily operations of businesses absolutely everywhere. And the money? We're talking almost $250 billion in revenue in a single year. This isn't just a big company, it's a financial fortress. The scale is just staggering. But here's the real kicker. Microsoft is not some sleeping giant waiting to be disrupted. They are pouring billions and billions of dollars into AI, weaving it into everything from Office and Azure to GitHub. So Macrohard isn't just fighting a giant, they're fighting a giant that's already arming itself to the teeth with the exact same weapon. So with all that in mind, we really need to pump the brakes and take a hard look at what AI can actually do today. Because frankly, the gap between that grand vision and the current capability is, well, it's significant. This chart really gets right to the heart of the problem. When you test the absolute best AI models out there on real-world coding issues from GitHub, they fail more often than they succeed. That dream of a fully autonomous AI programmer, yeah, it's still a long, long way off. And it's not just about getting the right answer. It's also about cost and speed. Right now, an AI might burn through thousands of dollars in compute power to accomplish something a skilled human engineer could do for a tiny fraction of the cost. And get this, it could take the AI up to 100 times longer to do it. That doesn't mean it's impossible forever, but it shows just how far we have to go. Okay, so, given that reality, what's the most probable outcome here? It's probably something a lot more nuanced than either total success or total failure. So, what's the most likely path forward?
Well, it's probably not about replacing Microsoft, but about upgrading how we use it. Imagine this smart AI layer that just sits on top of all the software you already use. You could just tell Excel in plain English what you want to do. No more hunting for formulas. The real revolution might be making powerful software incredibly easy for anyone to use.
And a shift like that could completely rewrite the rules for the entire software industry. I mean, if AI can automate even half of the work that goes into building and maintaining software, every company will be forced to adapt. It's a fundamental change to the very business of building technology.
So in the end, this isn't really a story about Macrohard versus Microsoft. It's about a much bigger, more fundamental question for the future of all technology. The real question we should be asking isn't whether AI will replace one company, but how it will redefine what a software company even is. And the answer to that? Well, that's going to shape our world for decades to come.